chose to be a food influencer. Food really is my passion. It's a genuine passion that I have. I wake up thinking about what I'm gonna eat for the day, and if I'm gonna have friends over on the weekend, and what I'm gonna cook for them. So food is a big passion of mine, and so is travel and exploring countries through their culinary traditions. And I actually took a sabbatical from my job. I used to work in finance. I took a sabbatical back in 2017 and I went traveling. I planned a 6-month trip that was based around the restaurants I wanted to visit. And so I started taking pictures and videos on my social media because it was actually too much work for me to send people individual photos, all my friends and family and friends of friends of where I was eating, what I was doing, who I was seeing. So I just said, you know what, just follow me on Instagram and I'll put everything on social media. And before I knew it, it was the friends of friends, the acquaintances of friends who started following me. And then obviously once the algorithm picks that up, you start getting strangers following you. So I kind of got to the first 10,000 followers pretty easily, just because I guess there's a lot of voyeurism in food, right? When it came time for me to go back to my day job, I thought, you know what, I actually prefer being on sabbatical. I prefer traveling, I prefer eating food and showing people, and maybe storytelling can be a career instead. I actually have been to Tunisia before. I came here as a student when I was in my early 20s or probably even late teens, and I did a very how can I put that? A very touristic tour of Tunisia. I received this invitation from my friends at Sawa Taste of Tunisia, and I thought, what an opportunity. It's a country that's always been on my list, and because I had been before, it had actually never been a priority to come back. But it's just the timing was right, everything worked out perfectly, and I thought, you know what, let me go back and do it properly, let me do it from a food angle. So I had Lamia as my guide, and it's been a life-changing experience. What has surprised me, I would say, is the use of harissa. The first time I came to Tunisia, you would think I've been here 2 weeks. I would know what harissa is and how it's used. I actually didn't eat very spicy when I was much younger. When I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I didn't do a lot of heat in my food. So I knew of harissa conceptually, but I had never really gotten deep into it. So it surprised me, first of all, how big of a staple it is in Tunisian culture, and secondly, it surprised me how it's made, how simple it is. I thought it would use some exotic, unknown spice that I would never be able to find, and I would never be able to recreate harissa at home in London. But actually, it's something I'm going to be making very often. I think it's such a simple ingredient, it's such a simple dish, and it's so impressive to make your own harissa that I'll definitely be making it at home. And another big surprise I had is that couscous can be had as a dessert as well. I think we see a lot of couscous, we see it in the Western world as an accompaniment, just like very plain couscous. But I learned that actually you can have couscous as sweet as well, and that was very shocking to me. I've never seen that before. We made the couscous. I was actually behind the camera on that one. Somebody else was making it. I was in charge of the harissa myself, doing the hand grinding for it. But yeah, so we made couscous actually by steam, which is not how I would make it at home. I don't know if what we have is like some ready-made version. I usually just add some hot water and cover it and then fluff it up after about 5 minutes. But we made it by steam on the pot. Tunisia is such a rich land. It has a seafront, it has an inland, it has a drier sort of desert area, and the traditional dishes reflect that very much in the use of the olive oil from the olive groves, in the use of fresh seafood from the seaside, in the use of spices. And obviously that, in terms of cultural heritage, it really shows the Berber influences, the Arab influences, the Italian, Sicilian influences, the French influences, and obviously let's not forget the Ottoman influences. So it really is a melting pot of all of the cultures that have resided within Tunisia, and it's almost like a seed was planted, and then when the flower grew and it bloomed, it was something better than anyone could have ever expected in terms of how it was mixed. Absolutely. For me, that's how I pick 90% of the trips that I take. I think I will share a few, but the first one I will share will be the recipe for the Malawi that we made on our first day. And it's a very simple recipe. The reason I want to share it first and foremost is because it's very accessible. I think I'm always very concerned when sharing recipes about how easy it's going to be for the people making the recipes at home to find the ingredients wherever they are in the world. You know, I have a global audience, and actually Malawi, the recipe is pretty simple. It's semolina and flour and water and all. I'm not going to give you the recipe because you're going to have to follow me on Instagram to get it, so I'm going to stop talking now. I think I'm touched by the hospitality of the Tunisian people. We had our hosts, Lamia and Arslan, who really treated us like family, and actually some of the young producers that we've met of olive oil, of art, of pottery, they have just been so passionate about what they do and about wanting to share it with the world. It has been really touching to feel at home in Tunisia.